Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to show you how to edit multiple files within Vim by splitting windows. We introduced buffers in the previous video, and we will reference that concept here. But you don't need to know that much about buffers to benefit from this video. Let's jump right in. We'll open a file in Vim, and you may not realize it, but you always start with at least one Vim window. And starting with the most basic form, just run the command split. And now we have two windows. And both windows are pointing to the same file. And if we list our buffers, we still only have one buffer, but now we have two viewports, which is the fancy Vim term for a window, looking at the same buffer. The term viewport and window are used interchangeably. And as a quick reminder, a buffer is the in-memory copy of the file, all of the changes you have not saved to disk. And because we have two viewports, aka windows, looking at the same buffer, if we make a change in one window, both windows will update. Vim tells us the buffer is modified with a plus sign, and viewing the same file from two different windows is helpful if you need to see two sections of the same file, like when you're developing a script or program. Now, to increase the height of any window, you can do it by increments of 1 with Ctrl-W, then the plus sign. You can also precede this with a number for bigger increments. And to decrease the window height, use Ctrl-W minus sign. And this also supports an optional number. And to make the windows equal, type Ctrl-W, then equal sign. And to rotate the windows, if you need to reposition them, is with Ctrl-W, then R. Now to close a window in Vim, you run the close command. And now we're back to one window. Now if we run the split command, but add a file name, it will split the window. It places the new window on top, which is what happened in the previous example. But now it adds another buffer to our buffer list. Both buffers have the A indicator because they are both active, meaning you can see them on the screen. To move your cursor down to the bottom window, type Ctrl-W, then down arrow. And to move it back up, run Ctrl-W, then up arrow. We'll go back to the modified buffer and try to close it. This error is similar to the previous video. Anytime you try to close the window to a modified buffer or navigate away from it, you have to hide the buffer. And this is done with the override, the exclamation mark. The buffer is now hidden as indicated by the H. Everything we went over applies to vertical splits too. It's the same command, but you prepend it with vertical, or vert for short. And now it splits the window vertically and places the new window on the left. Now to increase the width of a Vim window by increments of 1, type Ctrl-W, then the greater than sign. This takes an optional number, prepended. And to decrease the window width, use Ctrl-W and the less than sign. And this also takes the optional prepended number. Rotating the windows is the same command. And moving the cursor to the left is done with the left arrow key, and moving it to the right is done with the right arrow key. Now to close all windows at once and exit Vim, run quit all. This error message is reminding us of the modified buffer from earlier. And because we are exiting Vim with the quit all command, we now have to make a final decision on the modified buffer. Discard the changes with the override ! or write the changes to disk. But before we even decide, it is safe to hit enter. And when we do, Vim will take you to said buffer. So I'll decide to quit this window with the override and discard all changes. And now, assuming no other buffers are modified, the quit all should now work. If you want to open multiple files in Vim with split windows from the get-go, add lowercase o for horizontal splits and specify the files. And to open all files with vertical splits, use uppercase O. If you want to close all other windows, except the one you have selected, use the command only. Now you can split the window with a buffer number. sBuffer for split buffer will do horizontal splits and specify the number. Invert sBuffer will do vertical splits. We'll clear the screen again. And lastly, if you want to create a brand new unnamed buffer, you can use the new command. Make your edits and write the changes. Splitting Vim windows is a great way to view multiple files at the same time, or even different sections of the same file. And keep in mind, no matter how fancy you get with your windows, the same buffer list is being maintained under the hood. Thank you for watching this video, and have a great day.